Hi everyone, Bandana here, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into Airborne Empire, a brand new city builder with a twist or two that has just launched into early access. Many thanks to the developers Wandering Band and Stray Fawn Publishing for providing a key. As always, the opinions are my own, key given for free or not. As anyone who follows the channel knows, I do enjoy a good city builder. Now, when I first saw Airborne Empire last year, I was just expecting another cozy city builder, much like its predecessor, Airborne Kingdom. And while you'll notice some similarities to the older game, Airborne Empire takes things to the next level with a host of new features, including, and perhaps most importantly, combat. That's a rare addition to city builders, and it's implemented in some very creative ways. Obviously, it's just come into early access, and if you stick around till later in the video, I'll go over their early access plans as well. And don't forget to let me know in the comments, by the way, if you've tried the game or are considering picking it up. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game as well. And don't forget, while you're here, be sure to hit the like button and remember to subscribe to the channel. It's free and it really helps the channel out. I'll also upload gameplay over on my RTS Casts and Stuff channel if you want to watch me bumble along in real time. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the world and the story before diving into the gameplay. So Airborne Empire, you're kind of thrown into a world of anthropomorphic birds, and yes, birds that can't fly it seems. Instead, they rely on various aircraft to navigate the skies. The tone is kind of whimsical and colourful, and the characters are of course a rather amusing, stereotypical bunch. The premise is the world once flourished with flying cities, but now they're a relic of the past. You are tasked with restoring this airborne empire while helping the grounded inhabitants below and dealing with roving sky pirates who dominate the skies. Along the way, you might just uncover some ancient secrets about the world. So how does Airborne Empire differ from other city builders, I hear you ask? Well, the biggest twist is that your city isn't grounded, it moves through the sky. Managing this flying metropolis is more complex than it sounds. You'll need to balance lift, tilt, and propulsion, or risk having your entire city drop out the sky. And of course, that's all on top of the usual resource gathering, managing your citizens, keeping people alive, making sure they have food and water, for example. And another really important resource is coal, because without coal, you ain't staying in the sky. You could argue that there's a little bit of a survivalist element in there due to that. Then of course there's the addition of combat, which is welcome and a rare feature in city builders. You'll face off against sky pirates in battles that blend tower defense mechanics with active engagement. Pirates will attack with everything from fireball cannons to Tesla towers, and their fighters come in strafing and kamikaze variants. To defend yourself, you can build defensive towers, cannons, deploy fighter planes, and even bomb enemy ground bases. And there's also some more fantastical weapons, such as a freeze cannon. I also appreciated the fact that they'd thought about this combat system, and that cannonballs, for example, are physical objects and can hit your own buildings if you aim poorly. In general, it's a well thought out system, though I found controlling the fighters a bit fiddly. You currently have to assign individual targets for them, which can feel clunky during fast-paced battles. Hopefully this gets streamlined in future updates. Now, unlike other city builders, because your city actually moves in Airborne Empire, there's this huge exploration element, and it feels almost RPG-like. You'll traverse a map made up of diverse biomes, each with its own challenges. For example, deserts have scarce water resources, while other areas have their own hazards, such as volcanoes. Each biome has a main questline and side quests to discover. These unlock new technologies, buildings, and ancient relics that provide bonuses to your city or weapons. You'll also encounter escalating pirate threats as you progress, culminating in epic boss battles, which is something I don't think I've ever actually seen in a city builder like this. Now, I have to give the team a pat on the back because it's one of those games where they've really thought about the people playing it. I often play games and I think, oh, I wish they had this in there. And what I found is, as I was thinking that with this game, just a few minutes later, in some cases, there'd suddenly be a new thing in the game which did exactly what I wanted it to do. Let me give you a couple of examples. So firstly, you get these big bombard cannons, which initially you think, oh, they're just for destroying the pirate bases. No, they have other functionality, such as destroying rock faces to uncover new ruins, which you can then explore for monetary reward. And these were also used in some of the side missions. Then there was the aspect of city layout, which I was kind of like, oh, this is going to be difficult when it's in the air. No, they've added sky docks where you can move things around for free. So you can either have the game paused or unpaused while in the sky dock and literally redesign your city as you see fit. Which leads me nicely into customization, funnily enough. The other thing which I think is quite nice and will appeal to others perhaps more than it does me is the level of customization you can have with your city. It's not just how you design your city with various propulsion and lift options available. You can also change the colour of every individual building or all the buildings at once if you choose, and change your banner and things like that. So you can have a truly unique city if you want. Unfortunately, I tend to be less artistic in this respect and just end up going for functionality, but there will be some very pretty cities out there, I'm sure. So what has my early access experience been like? So far I've played over 11 hours of the game, despite skipping several side quests to focus on the main content as well. I've still almost an entire section on the map left to explore. I estimate there's at least 5 to 10 more hours of gameplay here, and that's before factoring in the updates and additions from early access as it continues. And I should note it's remarkably well polished for an early access title that's just entered early access. The roadmap also looks pretty promising and rather sensible, so new features will include a creative mode and survival mode, a weather system, difficulty levels, new game plus mode, Steam trading cards and additional language support, but new content will include a new biome, new pirate faction and boss fight, new enemy types, buildings and weapons, and new relics, side quests and town centres. So plenty to look forward to whether you're picking the game up now or waiting till it leaves early access. Overall, Airborne Empire is one of the most innovative city builders I've played in a long time. It successfully expands the genre with unique mechanics like managing a flying city, strategic combat, and an RPG-style exploration system. The attention to detail, like balancing lift and propulsion, adds depth to the usual resource management gameplay, while the exploration and story elements keep things engaging. The combat system, despite being a little fiddly at times, adds a welcome layer of strategy and excitement. My only gripe are the fighter controls, which feel very fiddly, and admittedly some long travel times when going back and forth completing the side quests. However, the early access roadmap looks promising, and the game is already highly polished for this stage of development. Currently, it is £22.49 with 10% off on Steam until the 27th of January. It's a fantastic buy for early access fans, but if you're hesitant about early access titles, I'd still recommend keeping an eye on this for its full release. As ever, I don't give a score for early access, but obviously, as you can tell, I'm quite impressed with it. Thanks as ever for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and let me know in the comments what you think of Airborne Empire, and I'll see you all soon.